Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, what's up? My name is vianney.strick. Thank you so much for being here. As you guys can see by the title, today we're going to be testing out a bunch of new drugstore and affordable makeup. I do have them obviously all on my face today, and I will show you guys how to get this look. In this video, I probably have maybe half first impressions, half reviews, so I do have a little bit of everything for you guys, and of course, everything is affordable. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and if you do, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join my squad. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, I am naked. I mean, obviously not, but I just feel naked because I always do my brows off camera, but we are going to be trying out some brow products. So as you guys saw by the title, today we're going to be trying out a bunch of new drugstore and affordable makeup. Of course, I will have this video up for you guys with a high-end version. I like to separate them out because I feel like there's different audiences. I feel like some people love drugstore, some people love high-end. If you like both, just watch both videos. I will have, again, a version of this with high-end because I actually have even more high-end makeup to try. But today we're sticking to drugstore. Get your matchas ready and let's get into this. So CoverGirl came out with a bunch of new brow products. They came out with like a little micro definer pencil as well as like a thicker one as well as a brow gel, but we're not going to be using the brow gel today because I already reviewed this months ago and I really ended up liking it. It's called the Brow Enhancer Gel Wax. It's really nice, but I already reviewed it and I do have a new drugstore, like an actual new drugstore brow gel that we're going to be trying out today, so just know that I do really like this. I do have the shade Auburn in both of them. The thicker one is called the CoverGirl Brow Filler Pomade Pencil. It does come in like a little triangle. You guys have seen these, just like a triangle type of shape. What I don't love is that it does come with one of these brushes. It looks like one of those artiste brushes that you would like contour your nose with. Not my favorite to like distribute product. I prefer a spoolie, but if you like these, it does have that. And then the micro pencil, it's called the Brow Liner 1mm Nano Pencil. And then this does have a spoolie, so we will be using that spoolie. And then it does come with the tiniest little tiny thingy. Okay, let me get my mirror. I get so many questions about this mirror, especially on Instagram. I got this in PR as a gift, so I don't think you can like buy this anywhere. I'm sorry. I hope that it's not, oh, okay. It is very pigmented. Okay. And it's very, okay. It's very soft and pigmented, definitely like a pomade. It's not gonna be like a waxy product. I am not even applying that much pressure on, like at all. I guess this little brush is okay. I don't know. I don't love the brush, but if that's not an issue for you, then it's not an issue for me. This is so pigmented, it's actually starting to freak me out. I think what I'm gonna do is fill out the outer corners of my brows where I actually don't have that much hair and I do need a lot of product, and then maybe we could go in with a micro pencil and do the front of the hair and do like actual hair-like strokes. So that actually was very quick. I will say again, with this one specifically, I don't think you'll be able to get very precise because it is a thicker, obviously a thicker pencil, but also just very pomadey, very emollient, very pigmented, but it did definitely fill in my eyebrows very quickly right there, so that is nice. So now I'm going to start mapping out the bottom of the front of the brow and then also start creating hair-like strokes with the pencil. Okay, that was fairly easy, so I definitely think this little duo worked out for me well. I will say, I think they look a little blocky because of the bigger pencil. It's just a lot of product. I can't really make hair-like strokes back here because that tip was way too thick. So I do like these products. I definitely think that if you're just looking for something very pigmented and quick, get this one. And then this is just your typical micro little brow pencil that worked really well at a drugstore price with the spoolie. So I think out of the both of them, I do prefer this one. Now let's move on to something a little bit more exciting. I actually already tried this and I really like it. So this is brand new from Maybelline. It's called the Super Lock Brow Gel. It does have a very small little tiny applicator. You guys know I love applicators like this, and guess what? It gives you strong hold. This brush, by the way, looks exactly like the Rare Beauty Brow Gel one, and they are extremely similar. I kind of want to do a dupes video because they are so similar. But yeah, I really like this because it doesn't come out super liquidy and goopy like normal brow glues. It's a little bit more of like a waxy consistency, and it just puts your brows in place. It does have like a medium to strong hold. Actually, I would say a strong hold, not even medium. It has a pretty good strong hold. It's not gonna make your brows like stuck to your face or super crazy hard, but it like hard enough to where they actually do stay in place. And did you guys see how quick I just did my brows? And also, I do love a brow gel because see how it's almost accentuating the hairs back here, and it's actually making them look like hairs rather than just blocks. So look at the difference that a good little brow gel makes. I have been really liking this, and I do think it has a pretty fair price. Okay, I zoomed you guys in a little bit. I feel like we were way too far away. So for primer today, we're gonna be using the brand new cooling stick primer from e.l.f. It's called the Stay Cool Primer Stick, and it says to hydrate and soothe. Now, I have already tried this. A lot of these products I have already tried, so I have actually like reviews for you guys instead of first impressions. So this is essentially gonna be a priming stick that's going to give you a hydrated, dewy base, and it also feels a little cooling. By the way, that time of the month, this looks like a mole. It's not a mole, it's a pimple. We're just going to drag this on, and it does feel nice and cooling on the skin. It is refreshing. I will say I did see like, before I bought this, I saw other reviews and people were like, oh my god, it's ice cold. It's not. Is it a cooling sensation? Yes. I mean, it feels refreshing, but also like once it's warmed up on your skin after like swiping it a couple times, it's not as like cooling, but it is nice and refreshing, and I actually do really like it. So as you guys can see, I'm just putting this everywhere. I like it because look, I'm even putting it under my eyes. I like it because it's not shimmery, and it does just give a nice hydrated feeling and looking complexion. I do like to blend this out with my fingers as well, just so that we get an even application. And yeah, it's really just a hydrating primer that feels nice on the skin. I think this product is actually really pretty on the skin alone if you just need a little bit of like natural dewiness. It's not super thick or sticky. It's like it's a little sticky to where like your foundation goes on really nicely, but you can wear this on its own and like your face isn't sticky. It's just like a little hydrated and plump, and it's really pretty. So that's all there is to it. I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't get it, what is it? It's just a hydrating primer. It comes on a stick. It's easy to use, it's cooling, it's refreshing, and it does wear well under makeup. For foundation, we're actually going to be testing out a powder foundation. So I don't have a new concealer, so I'm going to go ahead and just do my concealer off camera and set it with some powder, and then we'll go in with that powder foundation, because when I work with powder foundation, I like to use creams first. So we're going to do concealer, and then we'll come back for that powder foundation. Alrighty, so for foundation, we have the brand new Recover Matte Weightless Powder Foundation from Hailey's Beauty. It says it's a buttery smooth, buildable, medium to full coverage, oil-free pressed powder foundation that evens out the skin tones and imperfections and controls shine. So this is what the packaging looks like, and I have the shade 3.25 Light Medium Neutral. They did send this to me. I didn't shade match myself. Hopefully it works out for us. So I'm actually going to be using a Hailey's Beauty little brush as well. This doesn't have a name, but it's just like their big powder brush. I just want to maybe try it out like this first, and then see if we need like a sponge or anything like that to like get more coverage. So hopefully, like I said, this shade works out for me. So let's just go ahead and start pouncing it in. Oh, okay. That's actually giving me more coverage than I thought with this brush. So when it comes to powder foundations, I just like to first tap it in, and then I'll start like really buffing. But that actually, it looks very natural, but it definitely gave me like a medium coverage. So here is the side with, and here's without. See how it just kind of evened out my skin tone, but it doesn't look super makeup-y or anything like that. Okay, so far so good. This is my go-to powder foundation brush, and you cannot get it anymore. It's the Wet n Wild Bear Care collection, or Care Bear or whatever. I just love it because you can use like a big fluffy brush to get your whole face, and then you use the smaller side to kind of get in the nooks and crannies. So I'm gonna try to get around my nose because I do have some redness, and again, I didn't conceal that purposely. And then I do have this pimple right here, and I would say this is definitely more of a medium coverage. I mean, I guess maybe if I do it with my hand. Yeah. But it is looking really nice. It doesn't feel drying on the skin. I feel like I've already applied quite a bit of it, and it looks pretty perfected. It definitely looks very matte and blurred, but it doesn't feel or look drying. Like I mentioned, I feel like I got a pretty good medium coverage. If you are very oily or you want to get like the most coverage out of something like this, all you have to do is like grab a puff or a sponge and then grab some, and then maybe get the areas that you want to get more coverage. This looks really good. So let's see how it works with the rest of the makeup, but so far I'm actually loving it. So we'll see how it wears with everything else. We're going to be moving on to bronzer now. I know I've already talked about this bronzer many times, but I finally got my correct shade. I have talked about this bronzer before, but the shade Butter Off is extremely dark. I shade matched myself wrong because the shades are a little bit interesting, but I did finally get the shade lighter, and I also have the blushes, so we are going to be using all of them. These are the NYX Buttermelt bronzers, and they smell delicious. It's giving Physicians Formula, but it's a little bit different. So these are very pigmented, and they do have a little bit of like a satin to shimmer finish. Let me just show you guys both shades. So again, this is Butter Off, and like, look. Yeah, you better butter off. So that, again, very pigmented, and see how it does have a little bit of like a reflection. And then the shade that I got for myself is Deserve Butter, because I thought I deserved butter. A butter shade, and this is what that looks like. It looks very light. You would normally think that I would go for like a deeper shade, but again, they are very pigmented. So this is what that looks like. Let me show you guys. Obviously, if you know me, neither of these shades are like my perfect shade. I tend to go for more like olive undertones or a little bit warmer. This shade range is definitely more cool tone. So if you have trouble finding bronzers that are cool tone for you, then you might actually really like this range. So today, again, we're going to be using Deserve Butter. Now, I've never used these over a powder foundation, so that'll be interesting. And I usually use a cream bronzer, and we don't have that, so that'll be interesting. So I'm just going to grab a fluffy brush from BK Beauty, and I don't know, should I go in with a light hand or not? Let's see. I'm scared. I don't use brushes this big anymore for bronzer, but because these are so pigmented, I like to go in with something like fluffier. And let me just kind of stamp it on. When it comes to powder foundation, all the other products on top, I kind of like to stamp on because I don't want to move that powder foundation. But okay, that is looking very pretty. Now I'm not afraid of it anymore. I actually think it's a really pretty formula. I do wish they were a little bit less pigmented, just because if you go with like a heavy hand or even just like a normal hand, sometimes you just get way too much product on. But I will say most of the time it does blend really nicely anyways, but just be careful with them. But see how it's giving my skin a little bit of a sheen, and the sheen is flattering. So that is the bronzer in all its glory. Very nice. Love it. Now, let's talk about the blushes. So they did come out with the same exact thing, but with blushes. But interestingly enough, they came out with two different formulas. So only a couple of these are actual shimmers. The other ones do have that like shimmery satin finish, but then they do have a couple that are shimmery. And it's kind of hard to notice, but you just have to look at the shades. Like this shade is called Butter Together. This is normal. This is Had Butter. This is the normal also formula, and this is Juno Butter, but it says Shimmery Coral, so this is the shimmery one. Let me tell you something. I prefer the original formula. These are really pretty, but I'm just kind of over too much shimmer. You guys know I like it to keep it low key, but let me show you guys some swatches. So this one, the shimmering coral, is called Juno Butter. I am sick and tired of the names with the butter in it, but butter, this is what that looks like. Again, very shimmery, nice and coral. This is my favorite shade. I kind of bought this on a whim because it's literally orange, but it is stunning. So this is the shade Had Butter. I'm just tired of saying butter. And this is what that looks like. See how this still has life to it, but it's not a true shimmer like that. So I actually just find this formula just like the perfect in the middle. And then I also took a risk on this one because it's very light, but I was like, mid-tone blush maybe. This is Butter Together. This one kind of confuses me because it's the original formula, but when you do put it on the face as well as the swatch, you will see that it does have a bit more shimmer. I don't know if it's an illusion because it's a lighter shade compared to this one, but it does feel like it's a little bit more shimmery, but it's not described as the shimmery kind. So it's just kind of confusing. So first, let me show you guys my favorite. And I'm done saying names. Butter. This is the orange one, and it is stunning. These are also very pigmented like the bronzers, so go in with a light hand. They look a little intimidating, but just kind of dust them off. And let me show you guys this orange one because it is so pretty. It is like the shade for the summer. Isn't that pretty? I just feel like a lot of people wouldn't pick this up, but I did. This is what that looks like. I think it is just such a beautiful orange corally shade. And again, see how it just gives the skin some life. I want to show you guys this shade because, you know, even though it looks very, very light and baby pink, I am proof that you can build it up and it looks really, really pretty. So I'm going to go in with a heavier hand with this one just because it's lighter. And this is definitely like your baby doll pink. Look, can I make it work? Yeah. Is it flattering on my skin tone? Probably not, but I just wanted to show you guys. So that is that pink one. I just feel like a lot of people are going to gravitate towards this shade. So this is what that one looks like, but obviously this is my favorite. Now, we do need to kind of look a little bit more put together so that we don't look like we have two different cheeks. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of the orange one and just put it on top of the pink one. Anyways, I would love to leave it like this, but I'm going to show you guys the shimmer because I love you guys. I'm going to go with a light hand with the shimmer. It is a beautiful blush. I am not hating on it. I just don't love a lot of shimmer. This one, look how pigmented. It does have like a gold reflex. So in case you're wondering, so I'm just going to add a little bit on top. And it's kind of giving like the Rare Beauty luminous blushes. It's kind of doing that similar effect. I will say, even though it is pretty, the Rare Beauty ones are definitely more finely milled. Like the shimmer on these, they're not bad. They're just a little chunky. And so, you know, now we're looking like a disco ball. I think this look is beautiful. I just prefer the OG formula better. Again, so just keep that in mind when you are looking at the blushes. Beautiful. So, we're gonna get even crazier because now we have a crazy eyeliner to try. Hard Candy actually came out with these new multi-chrome eyeliners. They're shade shifting, flake free. Very interesting. So I do have like a blue one, I have like a white one, and then I also have this one, which I think we're going to be using because red and green is more wearable than blue. So I'm going to be using the shade Dance Trace. I wish it was an eyeshadow, but let's go ahead and do a little bit of a swatch. Oh my gosh, this is what it looks like. And then if you shift it, I don't know if you guys can tell, it turns green. I don't know how I'm gonna make this look good, but I just wanted to try it out for you guys because I know that there's been like a lot of festivals going on and I do feel like that might be like something cool to use. I'm gonna do a little bit of bronzer on my lid and I'm just going to add just a little bit on the crease just to have something. I don't know. And let's see what we're working with. It does seem like the wand itself is a brush tip and it does hold quite a bit of product, which is scaring me a little bit. So I'm gonna try to attempt to do a wing and hopefully it's not too big and hopefully this works out. The applicator was actually pretty easy to use and this actually looks very cool. I feel like the camera doesn't do it justice, and because it is a chrome, it almost looks like I have like pink here and then green here, but let me see if I can show you guys the effect. I think it actually looks very, very beautiful. I really love the finish of it. The only thing is I can feel it on my eyelids. It was very easy to use. I do think it's a very cool effect. It just looks like a little bit of a plastic film whenever I move my eye. It was easy to use. I don't know if I love that on me though, because it just looks like I have so many different eyeliners on. I will say though, you guys know I'm not like a big colorful person, but the effect that it gives is actually really cool. I think for like face painting for festivals, if you want to do designs and dots, the actual eyeliner applicator was very easy to use. And so for my day-to-day, I would definitely not be wearing this, but for something cool, like a cool occasion, I actually think it's really cool. The question is, do I leave it or do I put like a black eyeliner over it? I just feel like it's kind of messing with the shape of my eyes because of the chrome it just looks like my eyes are like discombobulated. I'm gonna do a little bit of black eyeliner on top, but yeah, this is what that looks like. Again, I think that if you're trying to do like cool designs, you would really like it. I'm about to fly like an eagle with these wings. Obviously look a little wonky, but you know what? For covering up that chrome, I don't think it's that bad. I really, really don't. Really quickly, I forgot that we have also a highlighter from Hailey's Beauty. I wish I wouldn't have put all that shimmer blush on top. They also came out with little highlighters called the Refract Smoothing Highlighter Powder. This one's in the shade Aurora. I didn't break it, but I kind of broke it. But let's look at this highlighter. It's supposed to be, what does it say? It's a smoothing highlighter. I don't know what that means, but oh, it seems kind of like a highlighter that I would like, actually. I wish I wouldn't have broke it. It seems like a very, you know, not overly shimmery type of highlighter. I'm gonna just add some a little bit on the nose and maybe on my inner corner highlight. Oh, that is so pretty. You guys know I do prefer my inner corners poppin', but maybe this will make me chill out a little bit. It seems like a very nice formula. It's not super powdery and it's definitely building nicely. That's really, really pretty. I will have to try this without shimmery blushes because there's no way I'm gonna put highlighter on top of that. But so far I am liking this as like just like a little nose highlight. I don't have like a brand new drugstore mascara. It seems like there really isn't that many new ones out there. So I'm just gonna use the newest one that I have. This is the Essence Lash Without Limits. You guys know I love this mascara. This is like a poor man's Maybelline Sky High. You know what? I don't know why I said that. Like, I don't really like that saying. Your poor man's... Yeah, never mind. But it's really nice. It literally reminds me so much of Maybelline Sky High. And even though obviously Maybelline Sky High is drugstore, well, guess what? Essence is like cheaper than drugstore. This mascara is so much more affordable. I think it's like half the price and it gives such a similar effect. It just gives you lash without limits. To finish off the video, I wanted to show you this new product from Hard Candy. So they came out with something called the Selfie Dot On Blend In Bloom Out. What? Is that really the name? It's called the Selfie Cheek Tint Dot On Blend In Bloom Out Universally flattering blush. I believe it's also a lip oil. Well, this is what it looks like. And let me just tell you guys something. Obviously, we do have powder foundation, so we're not going to use it as blush. I have already tried it as blush. It literally looks like a clear type of like lip oil. And then when you do apply it to the skin, it starts turning into a pink. You do have to give it a little bit of time. It is currently a little clear, but little by little it does become like a pink little oily stain. Personally, I don't love products like this on my cheeks because I just don't need an oil on my face, but I do need an oil on my lips. I just wanted to show you guys that even though it is like universally flattering for the cheeks, it also kind of does the same thing for the lips. And then if you apply it, it does start turning into a deeper shade of pink. You see that? It's really pretty. This is definitely one of those products that does actually feel like an oil, like a literal oil. It's extremely thin and lightweight. It does give you a nice shine, hydrated feel, but it's very thin and like oily. So if you have been looking for like a more traditional lip oil, even though this is like a cheek oil, it works perfectly fine as a lip oil, and that is what that looks like. And I do think it's really pretty. So if you have been looking for that, go ahead and get this. I'm gonna do a regular lip combo so that we can finish out this video. I don't have any new lip products from the drugstore. They're just not coming out with as much as they did before. I have not used this in a minute, and this formula is amazing. It's the LA Girl Shockwave Nude Liner in the shade Coquette. This is so creamy, so pigmented, and it's actually long lasting. Coquette. I'm in my Coquette era. And to finish off the lip combo, I'm just gonna use the e.l.f. Cloud Pout in the shade. It's the mauve shade. I think it's called like Mauve You, or what is it called? I mean, who is supposed to read that? Bust a Mauve. God. And I'm just gonna use this as like my lip color and lip gloss. Alrighty guys, this is the final result. I am obviously over blushed right now, which you would never think that I would say that, but I actually think the makeup turned out really well. I'm pretty surprised about this powder foundation. It is looking so nice. It doesn't look cakey, doesn't look heavy, but the skin looks full glam. Yeah, so super impressed with that. Super impressed with the blushes. You guys already know I do love the original formula. And then as far as the brow products go, this is definitely my favorite brow product. This is super, super nice. It really does leave your brows in place without making them like super crunchy or anything like that. So yeah, super happy with everything we've tried out today. Hopefully this video is helpful. I will of course link everything down below. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!